Good evening, everybody. My name's Lisa Hayden, and I'm one of the curators here, along with Cynthia Liu, who is... Where are you, Cynthia? There she is. She just gave a little wave, but she's kind of shy, so if you know her, great. If you don't, she's here. Anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are thrilled to have Laurelin Gilmore's work in the gallery this month. And here she is, Laurelin Gilmore. And she is going to tell us a little bit about her work. Okay.
Yes, thank you, Nisa and Cynthia and all of Twisted Trek for having me. It's really been an incredible experience. I felt very held by this group. And I appreciate all of you for being here. For those of you that know me or are coming out for the first time, I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of these pieces. They do kind of have a shared narrative for them, somewhat. There are a couple of pieces from older collections, but they all kind of tie in. I have, I think, an overarching idea about what I'm trying to say with my art. For the most part, my art is about reminding people...
That's our air conditioner. It'll only be a minute.
Reminding people about their intrinsic connectivity to the natural world and the inseparableness of our connection to the earth. We get sick when it's sick, we get healthy, and we thrive when it thrives. So a while back I decided that I was very interested in the narratives that we construct for ourselves around that relationship. So there are a lot of ways many people will, recognize that we use the animal world as a kind of a reference for our own human experience. Like we use words like foxy or crabby or, a snake or something like that. In that way, we associate various animals or environments with either nobility or degradation. And we kind of use that story to inform our own human experience. Our zodiac is full of animal mythology. We're very comfortable with telling that story for the most part. But there's a disconnect between that narrative, feeling almost fictional, and the truth that we are organic beings. We cannot survive without this planet. She doesn't need us, we need her. And as I was creating this collection, it was also during a time that I became really I guess enraged is the right word, with the treatment of specifically women in this country, the laws that were being passed or ignored around the protection of women and our autonomy. And I wanted to kind of lean in to the idea that if you want us to be monsters, we can be monsters. I wanted to play with the kind of animals that people generally consider to be alien, other, and monstrous in a way that will inform the subject matter. So I'll get a little bit more into that as we go around the room. But I think I should probably begin. I'm going to begin with this piece. It's one of the bigger pieces that I've done. We're going to, I wish I had like a little sign. Follow me, class. This piece is actually from the last time I showed with Cynthia at Sparrow Gallery. This is from, that collection was called In the Night Garden. And what I was thinking about was the changes that come over a human being in nature at night. So the way that we become more sensual, we also become more fearful. We're more comfortable talking to ghosts, we dream. And this was kind of a moment for me to talk about this peaceful place at the back of this dark garden where a young person would be free to kind of explore all of the scary things in her mind. So things that are normally scary become kind of cute, and things that are normally kind of cute and inviting become a little bit more scary. And it was about the transition in this young person's life. But I think that it's something that we can all kind of relate to, this environment where we're uncomfortable or feeling out of place, or certainly not apex, that there would be a safe place to dream, I guess. So from there, I'll take you over to these two, which were some of the first two that kind of came into my mind when I was thinking about this collection. This was really early on in my pissed offedness. What I wanted to play with was the narrative around kind of historical female monsters. So this is Eve's Medusa, and this is Persephone's Ursula. Or is it Ursula's Persephone? I can't remember, but anyway. Playing with the idea that women in mythology are oftentimes kind of considered something inherently evil, something without exploring the narrative of that individual, that we put something like snakes on their head and suddenly they're a bad guy. And I wanted to look at, like I said, what it feels like to embrace the monster that you're being assumed to be. So this is kind of a moment between these two. They're definitely sisters, that they've recognized that they're encased. So they're touching this divide between them, seeing each other, but their eyes are looking at the audience. They're looking at the viewer. This is a moment when these two female monsters recognize the power in each other and have also recognized that they've been caged. So the moment when you realize that you've been kind of suppressed, oppressed, held in, held down, at the same moment that you recognize your own innate personal power, that's kind of the moment that I was looking to explore. I'm never going to be a person who is interested in exploring, I don't know, the one-sided kind of bummer of like what it's like to be on the outside, what it's like to be the other, what it's like to be the person or thing that is being kind of trampled on. I can't really stay there. It's not the way that I'm built. So for me, that moment also has to be a moment of empowerment. That moment also has to be a moment where if you recognize that you are being stepped on, that it's also the moment you recognize you don't have to be. So that's kind of what I was playing with in here. And the reason why I'm being like a little bit vague is because all of these paintings have a story for me. I definitely don't want to be in the way of anyone else's narrative. I'm much more interested, to be honest, with the story that they create in any of you. So, but we'll keep it moving. This little guy. This is called Needy. It's I had a sister ceramic piece that went with it that is like an octopus tongue, which I think I was going to call Giving. But it's the shape of a human heart. This is another way that, like what I was talking about, how people kind of associate aspects of themselves with aspects of the animal world. So this kind of like intense sort of suckery, kind of like be tentacled, like wrapped up. I hope that people can immediately recognize when they've felt that way. Everyone's heart has felt like that at some point, I think. This painting is really kind of more of a celebration. This is my beautiful sister, and happy birthday. This piece is called Mother Kingfisher Varieties with Rose. So what I also wanted to look at were the ways that this kind of, the thing that people would consider dangerous or scary or something like that. A lot of times for women is really just self-preservation and protection. So she's a rose, but she's got thorns all over her. She's not to be fucked with. And but I also wanted her to be this safe place for all of these little creatures to live. They're all very different. They're a little bit of a crazy flock, but that they feel safe with her. There are two pieces in this collection called Mother. One is Mother: Bear, and this is the other, exploring kind of what it is for women to be caretakers. And on a personal note, this is one bird for all of her children and another for all of her grandchildren. So, she's a protector. That's kind of what I wanted to get across. So sometimes our fierceness is not about defending ourselves. Sometimes it's about defending others or what we believe in. These two pieces right here kind of go together, but they're individual. This is Birth of a Monster and Snake in the Grass. And Birth of a Monster kind of came to me, they were about the same time, but Birth of a Monster I finished first. This was kind of toying with the idea of possibility inherent in each person, the capacity that each human has for either destruction or creation, that this little creature is still kind of in the womb. They're still being developed. But if you see a creature like this that is betentacled, it looks like a monster, someone is going to apply ideas of monsterness to it before it's even in the world. So it's this assumption that we put on everyone, whether we know them or we're just getting to know them, they're just arriving into the world or into our world, that we have these assumptions. The truth is that we all have this unlimited capacity for destruction and creation. But sometimes what I'm doing in my work is playing with people's sort of inborn narratives about these animals, so that when a viewer stands in front of them, they're kind of filling in the gaps about those things. So whatever the viewer thinks about snakes or octopuses or tentacled things helps to inform the supposition that they're putting on this creature. And I like that. I like that play with assumption and expectation, I guess. I'm going to just talk about a couple more, and then maybe we'll let this breathe. This is the biggest one that I've done. This is 10 feet across, and I want to say 4 feet tall. These two side panels are on hinges, so they can come forward like that. This is my friend Marcus actually posed for the images of the man, like, I don't know, 3 years ago or something, 2 years ago. He came by and had like an installation exhibit and had a window in it. So I was like, just get naked and push yourself up against the window. I'll tell you about it later. He was down. So, so there's a song that was kind of running through my head a couple for a lot of these. But the one that was, this one was, the line goes, see the animal in the cage that you built. Are you sure what side you're on? You know what I'm talking about. The idea that when you're standing in front of it, you can't be sure whether or not you're the one in the tank and they're in the wide open ocean, or they're the one in the tank and you're observing them. So I want to it's kind of literally breaking that wall. If you look closely, she is actually breaking that wall. So whether or not they're about to flow into our world, or we're about to be released into theirs, I kind of like the vibration of that divide being fragile. Yana was telling me that because she knows him and she knows that it's one person, that it kind of feels like he's almost dancing across the scene, which I thought was an interesting observation. I hadn't thought about that, but I kind of like that too, that he's sort of in motion. He's not looking at you. The only one that is focused is the person in the middle. who is doing the action. And I was kind of playing with this. I went to a talk in Davis. God, I can't remember his name. He's a very well-known artist. I'm terrible with names. If only you were there. I don't remember his name. But he does this sort of like fog on glass and kind of peeking through reflections and stuff. And I was just really, really intrigued. I like that it, if you can lean really heavily into realism, then people can kind of suspend disbelief and allow you to maybe pretend that this thing is real. So, yeah, there's a lot more that I had in my head, but I'm just going to move on and we can talk about it later. I'll just talk about this one. Oh, that one. This one. No, I'll talk about that one. This is the other mother piece. This is my friend Esme. She's from Michoacan, and I wanted to kind of incorporate some of her culture. Whenever I ask somebody to pose for me, it's not necessarily a portrait, but I do want to at least honor who they are as an individual. So she is, anybody that knows her, like you could just be like, oh, who's that magical plant woman? And they'll know it's Esme. She's magical. But this is some of the wildflowers in her yard. And she's wearing a traditional woven garment from Michoacan, along with the little woven, like, reed belt. Those are traditional to her culture. This is called Mother Bear. So she's standing there with this Mexican black bear, and she has fallopian horns. So it's specifically about protection and about the power of women in our womanhood. So the last one we'll talk about is this one back here. This is on a bed of her enemy's pelts. So she's a sweet little bird. She's in her elm tree, kind of relaxing with her swing. But I like the idea that she is as gentle and innocent and cute as she looks. She is definitely a murderer. She's like, she made a bed of all of her enemies. So she's going to sleep well tonight, knowing that she's safe and she's defended herself and there's nothing that's coming to get her. So anyway, I guess that's kind of all I have for these pieces. There's a few more in the room, so if you have any questions about any of those, feel free to ask me. If there's any questions about the ones that I talked about, I don't know what I've just said, so feel free to ask. I will let you know. Anyway, thank you. Can I clap for myself? Oh, Sandy.
Do you watch a lot of nature documentaries?
I get very sad during nature documentaries, but I do. There's one that's on Netflix right now called Dancing with Birds, or The Dancing Birds or something. And it's just all about birds and their mating rituals, and it's fantastic. I'd absolutely recommend that to anyone. Anyway, feel free to hang out, wander. I'm here if you have questions. Sorry, I'm gonna be.
Later, I was just caught by this figure, this model's hair, and I wondered how much the appearance of a person influences the style and how you make them.
So what's interesting about that? One, these are Marcus's legs. I made him because I couldn't find these legs anywhere, and the people that I asked said no. And this person, along with the person in the large one, the main character, those are both from my imagination. So this is not a person that I know. And when that happens, I mean, not to be too artsy, floofy about it, but they kind of show up as they are. I'm really just painting them as they're sitting in here. But I will say that when I'm asking somebody to be the subject of a painting, unless when you post for me, that was for a specific kind of a theme and a narrative. But if it's just me, I don't necessarily look at them and think, what animal are you? But I do, I have a friend who posed for a painting where she was an albino alligator, and I had to be I don't see you this way. This isn't how I, like, I don't think of you that way, but you are, she was very pale and she had really pale hair, and it just kind of clicked. So if that happens where their appearance kind of informs the idea, then I usually will let them know it's not about you. Yeah, not tacky.
And it just says, I have a likeness of you. Is that you?
Yes, those are me. Yeah, I was mad. And so I took a picture of myself doing side eye, and so that I could paint it. Got it. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, I won't keep you. Thank you all for coming. Happy Pride. No kings. I'm here. Thank you.